Hi there, and welcome to our final preview of the Show Me the Money Year 11 finish. Hello, Craig. How's it going?
Well, you gave it away, Johnny, because anyone who's clocked the eyes watching the intro will have seen the champ is here, Johnny. The champ is here.
Doug can no
It's one
longer
of
rub it
those
in your
ones.
face.
I'm over the moon. It's the one I've wanted to win all the way, and I've never came close. To be fair, I've never even got close to it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that I've got over the line this year, and it was a cracking final as well. It was really close, and Alan went and pumped his points on earlier, which we'll see later on, and then I had the sweat of weight to come back. So we'll discuss it when we get there. But yeah, suffice to say, I'm quite chuffed this week with the title, and yeah, happy to have it.
As Catherine says, yeah, you'll get the trophy on the mantelpiece for next year.
Well, we'll hopefully be alright. I'll hopefully be up there soon. I'll need to get together with Sean and get it off him. I'm sure now that he's in Edinburgh, we'll get together for a wee drink at some point along the way, and I'll get
Well,
it off.
if he's handing it over, get somebody to get a photo. Like you had to get when I got a photo of you
If
handing it
he's
over.
handing it over, there's only one person who's going to be presenting me with that trophy this year, Johnny. There's only one person who will be doing the presenting. So don't you worry, he'll be there and he'll be presenting. Don't you worry. I had to
Make
do
sure you
it
get
for
a
him.
photo of it. Yeah,
I had to do it for him. So
you had to do it for him.
revenge,
Yes.
revenge.
So
Thy name is Clarence.
And I'll get your ring sent down to you when the roads start opening up again.
I've actually got it. I've got a ring here, Johnny. I don't know how I've got a ring here.
Not for
So don't
2024.
say. I think I was meant to send this to Chris, and I've not done. So check in with Chris, will you? And if that's the case, send him mine because he should have two. He got given one for the Tartan Bears year, even though because the Super Bowl went nuts. And I'm sure
they'll
that's
have a
this
year
one
in it,
that I was.
Craig.
Eh?
They'll have a year on it.
Oh, well, that.
Yeah.
It was down here, Johnny. I'm not sure where it is now. The wife's moved it. It was down here before. It'll still be down there somewhere, but oh, there it is. I've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says 2022 on it.
Yeah, I've got one here that says
That's fine. That doesn't
2024.
matter. I'll keep this one if you want to send to whoever this one should be. I think it's Chris, as I say. I think you sent Joe's, and I was supposed to send Chris's up, and I was really busy at work at the time, and I just kept forgetting, and then I never get round to it.
Well, I actually.
So, yeah, you send that one up to. I'm sure it's Chris. So if you want to send that one there, and I'll keep this one, and then that's. I've all got a ring, and I'll just get it out the bag.
I've got a
put it lovely right on the finger.
There you go, Doug. 22 one here from Jack, so I'll send that one down to Chris.
Where's Mr. Baxter? There you are, Douglas. I've got mine. I've got mine. Now the question is, who? If I can add another one to it next year, could I be the first to go back to back? That will be the intention. I'm not going to lie, but it will be very difficult to do.
So yeah, I've only got two.
I know you've got two. I know you've got two, but I've got my one now, and that's
got your one. That's
now.
Until
we hit next year, that's
the monkey's off your back. That's what matters.
That's the thing, Johnny. The monkey's off my back, and I can now actually sit back and enjoy it now. So let's go and have a look at the consolation first. Let's go and see what happened in the consolation first with Sean's game.
Where is it? There it is.
So it was Sean and Chris playing out for. Now both have got their entries paid for next year, so the winner of this game is getting a wee £15 bonus, and of course the number one pick next year. The loser's got the number two pick, but the number one pick's. It's nice to win, isn't it? And once again, our Sean knocked out the park,
Yeah, 112.68. So that's a nice number one pick again. Hopefully do a bit better this year and start the season a bit quicker than he normally does. And he might actually make the playoffs because he always finishes well, just doesn't start well. And the Blue Tube Patriots,
Johnny, if he'd have snuck himself in, he would have won it. That's enough points to beat both me and Alan.
Well, he had 112 points, and he never took out Hubbard. Ford got 2 points. He's never an IR.
Yeah, Hubbard was a late one,
McConkey, Evans, and Allen in the defence that got him it, basically.
And that's pretty much where it's came from, and Chris just, he just ran into too many injuries, Chris, throughout the season, to be fair to him. And, at this point, you're needing something from Bigsby or Algier to get anything, and they kind of snuck him along to the final here in the consolations, but alas, they disappeared in it. Down's done absolutely nothing. Jefferson was very disappointing for him, and you know, at the end of the day, 3 points wasn't a disaster this week. That was a very good score, because you know what it's like in the last week of you know, it's
God, yeah.
Players aren't playing, players are getting rest. You know, so he's done. I mean, he lost out Richardson, you know, straight off the bat. Richardson, his quarterback, couldn't play him, so it's but a good one for Sean, and Sean will take the #1 pick. Now he knows what to do with it. He had it this year. I do believe he traded out. I do believe he's got a couple of early trades next year.
I'm not sure. I'll know more when I see the.
What you're after next year, sir. That's what you're after next year. Go get your ring, Sean. It's you got a practice run this year. It didn't quite work. You made a big run at the end again. Come get it this year. And as for Chris, it's just been one of those seasons for Chris. He's had a couple of really good ones, and Johnny, everyone has these seasons from time to time. You pick up a few injuries. The players that you put your faith in, they just quite don't have it that year for whatever reason. You know, maybe the team's not great, or they're just not performing the way you needed them to perform, and you have a bad year. Shit happens, you know. You move on to the next one, and Chris, we say, he's got his title in the bag, so he knows what he's doing, and he'll be back, I'm sure, raring to go for another title next year.
Sean actually made no trades this year, so he's just got his normal picks. The boys are back. They've got a third round pick off of Doug.
Yes, I believe that Chris took Doug's third round pick for Hurts. I believe it was Hurts that Doug got from Chris. So you have his third rounder, which will be late, but you know, it's still a third round. It's still an extra third round pick, which is massive, really.
I may have to check that one, because I'm looking at Doug's spreadsheet. It looks like the boys are back in town. I've got. I think Doug's
maybe boys are back in town. It might be that I knew that he got him from the south. I just wasn't sure what one, but it was one of those two. With Richardson and Chris's team, that makes more sense to me, actually, because Chris went with Richardson, not would have been Ross.
Yeah.
So that was well done, Sean.
It was a good one, like you say. You get the #1. Any other one you want to see?
We had a semi-final too, Johnny. We had the small matter of who finishes third, you know, and there is a cash prize for third. It's third and fourth. Difference between 60 and 40, you know, so it's kind of worth the win. And unfortunately, and Backs Away Trust just pipped you to it and stole that third place. For the second year in a row, they've got that third place now. They seem to be very good at it. It looks to me like the tactic is trade out of next year and then go get third next year, then trade out of next year, then go get third next year, then trade out of next year, then go. So as long as he's happy with third, then it looks like Dougie's on a winner. But what happened
in fairness, I didn't even set my team. I just said the same team as the week before. Not that really made any difference, but I didn't even look at my team. So
did you not?
To me, I was just happy. I was busy doing. I was busy doing other things. I did not look at my team.
Third place is not to be sneezed at, but alas, you know, I mean, 86, 76, it was a close enough game. All your players played anyway. You wouldn't have changed any of them. You wouldn't have put any of them in. I don't think that would have been the team you played anyway. And as I say, Pacheco was a problem. He got injured, and then when he's came back, he's not really came back, and that's been a problem, you know, because when you get a player like Pacheco back, you expect to be able to plug him back in there and them to start scoring you 15, 16, 17 points again. And when they don't, it's a problem.
True story. I was actually going to take Pacheco out, but I didn't actually get home till about 6:30 on Saturday.
So you were too late.
So
as well, we'll see it when we go on tonight.
I was going to go for the double running back for Detroit because I like to run, but it wouldn't have made any difference in the end. I still would have lost. But after the way Pacheco's been playing, I wasn't going to play him. But like I say, work was pretty shit on Saturday. I never got home till too late. I had to go buy the shots on my way home and everything. So it was about 25 past 6 I got home. I don't know what time did it kick off? Was it 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, so
it was too late.
I knew I'd missed the beginning, so it wouldn't have made any difference. So
he's had a great run, Doug. I mean, he's done really well. He's had to bring in Jones, obviously, for his quarterback here, but it's worked out fine for him. You know, it's the trade for Hurts. It kind of got him there, so it's not like it was a bad trade. The trade didn't fail him. The trade got him here, you know. And Kelsey, can you see him trading for Kelsey next year? I think
No.
Doug's finished with the Chelsea trades. I think that's the bridge between Ambassador We Trust and Coping Badly Jets that Travis Kelce crosses every year has been broken, I would say.
I think it has. And I do admit, though, watching the kind of scores coming in, I was chuckling about having Neighbours on the bench.
Yeah, well, I mean, Neighbours
It may
was
have cost
talking
us
about being...
It may have cost
he
us
was
the
saying
number one bloody pick, but what a performance! Like, so.
Neighbours was saying himself he's going to be a game time decision, blah 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 blah. You know, he was giving it all of that stuff, so I don't blame him for not starting him. But yeah, it didn't matter in the end either. He had Zaki, you know, so he had his options. Doug has had his options all year, and the big thing Doug's got now is who's he going to keep? Who do you keep out of that team? Can you keep two receivers in this league?
With the receivers they have, you might actually.
That would be brave to me to say to keep two receivers in this league where you know it's not there's no points per reception. That would be a very big bold move to do. So we'll see if he does it. But he's certainly got the receivers there to do so. He's got Brown, he's got Collins, and he's got Neighbours. What one of them? You know, and then he's got options at running back with Jacobs there as well. I mean, Jacobs, if he's going to be the number one at Green Bay again next year.
Well, that was it. Well, the players who they said to put over was it Brown, Collins, Neighbours, and Jacobs. So he's obviously swithering between those four. So
well, that's it. I mean, I'll tell you the ones that you can send over for mine that I'm swithering between, and you can do that. What about yourself, Johnny? What's your keeper options here? You've got Gibbs, obviously. That's an absolute bona fide. Unless he dies over the summer, he will be a keeper. Yeah.
Well, I am not locking anything in like Deontay Johnson again, like, but no, probably just Gibbs, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have thought that would be your way. I mean, Pacheco's a kind of half an option, isn't he? But you would need to have a really good
start of the year, but you don't know what it's going to be. I'll see how the off season goes. See if he gets better than that. But
at the end of the day, you see where he's getting drafted all around the time that we're going to be drafting, and you make a decision at that point, don't you?
Yeah.
But at least it's an option for you. I can't see really any other options there for you, really, have you?
No. That's what I'm saying. My team has done well getting this far because it is pretty shit. I've had players score well at the right time.
You've managed it. You managed the arse out of that one. To be fair, you've got it along there where it really there was a lot better squads out there than yours, Johnny. So you've done great to get it into fourth place. Absolutely amazing.
I know, and one of them was what is it? The two big ones had a good matchup. Was this for the fifth round?
I mean, that was too massive. And Sean, again, he traded for his, didn't he? So he's kind of put himself on the back foot a little bit for next year. But a lovely win to finish the season. What does that make him, fifth?
I can never remember. I think so.
Yeah, I think so. And do you know what? That's for a title defence. That's a very good showing, you know. So he's done great. He got one bad week in the first round of the playoffs, and outside of that, he would have won through it if he didn't have that one bad week, you know. So well done, Sean. It was a good season. You just fell in that last hurdle, and Graham's team was magnificent. It just again, it's one bad week. It's any given Sunday effect. When you look down that team, if you look at Graham's bench, he's got Pitts that you were expecting a lot more out of. Chubb down there on the bench who went to IR. You've got Cooper down there who was, fine, I guess. Obviously when he went to Buffalo, it was a little bit.
You thought he'd been better, but no.
But yeah, I mean, Graham's team was primed for it. He won the regular season, fantastic season. But alas, he came into the playoffs, and I love to see that I went with Barkley. We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that in a minute.
Yeah. So who do you think they're going to keep then? At our guess.
Right. So for Graham here, I'm looking at Barkley. I don't think Cook's a keeper. I think Cook's going to be getting drafted third, fourth, fifth round. Not a keeper per se for me.
Not White.
But he's very much an option. He is an option. I don't know. Is Terry McLaurin an option? I mean, he was a top 5 wide receiver this year.
I know, but it's really weird. But a lot of them have been. There's been a few games he's disappeared. Like that game, he's cost me one in a different final. But
yeah, I mean, he didn't seem to do very well. But at the end of the day, he he was a top 5 wide receiver in fantasy football this year. So
I know, it's
that in
crazy.
itself has to kind of put him in the discussion for a keeper slot. But in this league, I wouldn't be keeping McLaurin. So for me, I think Graham keeps Barkley and nobody else. For Sean's got his options aplenty. I mean, again, in fact, I don't even think he does have options. If Derrick Henry goes again next year, you can't not keep him. And Jamar Chase is obviously a lock-in for the next 10 years for Sean. So I think his are very easy.
So somebody's going to get a nice picky bucky Irvin, even Aaron Jones in Minnesota.
You know, absolutely. It's you've got. There are others there that are
Graham
going to
could
be
go for Chubb. If Chubb tries to get himself healthy, you might go for Chubb. The problem with that is that Cleveland are going to have Watson back, and Watson just brings that team down. He's fucking awful.
Chubb is just one too many injuries for Chubb now. No way he's a keeper. I mean, you might draft him if he's fit going into the year, but you're not going to keep him. You're not going to take him in the first 3 rounds.
No, well,
so therefore he's not a keeper. It's no way.
Oh, did we? We had a guess who Doug was taking, didn't we?
Yes, we looked at Doug's, yes, because it's
Did we have a guess who you were taking?
No, we've not even looked at our game yet, so this is it, the big one.
There you go, the final. The Steam Team 88.72 against 92.12, and it actually got a lot closer thanks to the 5 points for the Lions defense in a 40-34 game.
So it's one of those ones, Johnny. I'm sitting on Thursday night waiting on the Patriots and the Chargers game. And I'm humming and hawing, did I play Stevenson, did I not play Stevenson? Now, I hadn't been overly paying attention in the run up to it, you know, Christmas and all that gash. I hadn't overly paid attention to lineups and, you know, what was being said about the game before. So I left Stevenson in, not realising that New England had come out and said they're taking the start off him. Yeah, so I heard this after it was too late, after the game had started, but I was encouraged by the fact that he did start the game. He got the first touch. He carried it for 1 yard. And then we never seen him again. And if you go, I've got Guerrero on the bench, and I was so going to put him in. And I didn't, and I decided, nope, I'm going to stick with Stevenson. Let's see if we can get off to some sort of start on Thursday night. I didn't. Alan very much did. He got off the Flyers. Saturday night, he had Jackson rolling massively for him. In fact, that was Christmas night, was it not? Was that Christmas Day that he had Jackson?
Did I think with Gibson? No. Up until the last 2 drives, Gibson only had a point.
Yes,
I know. It was 1 point to point gain, so it wasn't looking much of a difference. But he got a few late runs at the end there, but like garbage time runs.
But Bateman didn't do much. Bateman did him nothing. And then on Saturday night, maybe even Thursday, I can't remember what night, but it was before Sunday anyway. Smith and Jigba had done nothing for Seattle, you know. So that's kind of it put me in a good position, Johnny. I was put in a bad position because the score that Lamar Jackson got, but at the same time, everybody else coming behind him was faltering. So I knew that I had a chance going into the weekend. I just knew I needed a couple of big performances. Now, on Saturday, I'm sitting and humming and hawing on Saturday. We know that the Chiefs were playing on Saturday night. And last week I put in Butker as my kicker, and I put in the Chiefs defence to get me into the final, to beat you last week. And then Saturday night, I'm humming and hawing. I'm thinking, I'm not convinced. You know, they're playing Denver, I think it was. Denver needed the win. Oh, it wasn't Denver they were playing. Who was it?
No, it was Houston.
Oh, Houston. They were playing Houston. No,
it was Steelers. Was it?
The Steelers, that's exactly who it was. And I thought the Steelers are still needing the win. You know, I'm going to switch to the Colts, who need the win and are playing the Giants. Surely that defence will stand up this week. So I switched there, and because I was switching the defence, I just switched to kicker while I was in there as well, and it absolutely cost me fortunes. The Chiefs D scored 13 points, and that was a 17-point swing. So you can imagine when I woke up on Monday morning, and I came in and I had a look. Now, Taylor, again, let me tell you the Taylor story as well. I have been getting absolute dog's abuse all season long from a certain Mr. Douglas Baxter because I didn't keep Barkley. I'm the schmuck who didn't keep Barkley. I'm the schmuck who didn't keep Barkley. Well, I got to the playoffs without Barkley, so you have to assume that I would have got to the playoffs with Barkley. And had I played Barkley in this final over JT, who I kept over him, I would be sitting here as runner-up. I wouldn't have this on my ring. and he would still have the bragging rights over me. So, Mr. Baxter, thank you very much. It pays for those who, the best things come to those who wait, Johnny. That's what they say, isn't it? So when Bartley's running up an absolute trough through the middle of the season and knocking in points left, right, and centre, that's fine. I'll wait to the final. That's when it matters. And that won me. JT won me it. And of course, I got Brian Thomas off on one on Sunday afternoon as well. And that's what got me going. But I woke up on Monday, I was still 21 points behind. And I had Goff to come, and he had Alan had the Lions D to come, you know. So it was just, for me, I thought it was too much, Johnny. I thought it was too much to overcome. I thought 20 points in San Francisco against a team who really should be trying to prove a point, trying to show that they're not as bad as what they've made themselves out to be this year. It turns out they are. But Goff went nuts.
The first couple of drives, he just went down the field and scored.
Yeah, he went nuts. He done what I needed him to do. And the Lions D just didn't get him there, you know. And there's a lot of injuries down there that was probably a lot to play, a lot of a problem. But I mean, they scored 5 points despite conceding 40. So they conceded 34 because there was a pick, there was a pick six or something, wasn't there, for the 49ers? But anyway, yeah. So they got that, and Goff came on. He done it. I did not stay up for the game. I was working on the Tuesday, so I did not stay up for the game. I thought it was over. I'm going to be honest. I thought it was over. I was shattered. I didn't stay up for the game. I went to my bed, and when I got up, obviously, I had the wonderful news that
I missed the second interception because you had a power cut at the time. Because it was really strong winds and all that, so the power just went off. Had to go reset another bloody routers to find what's the end of the game. But it was a good win. Like unlucky Alan, you did well. You got some money back for your last year.
And, very unlucky Alan. It was a gallant effort. He's been great all season long, to be fair. He's, you know, and again, when you look at the team, there are stronger squads elsewhere. But Alan has managed his team very well. He's put the right players in at the right time. He's picked the right ones up from agency when he's had to. And it's got him all the way to the final. And it's sad to see him go.
You could also say that you James Conner going out pretty early saved you too.
Yeah, that didn't help him.
I never saw what happened, but yeah,
that was
4 rushes, 4 receptions. He probably left pretty early.
But he was very hurt coming into it. He was very hurt coming into it. I mean, I personally, I wouldn't have played Conner, but I don't know what was on the bench. But
you had Akers.
I mean, I would have played Cam Akers over Conner, to be honest with you, because Conner was very, very hurt. Do you know what the thing about Conner is? Never in Conner's career has he played a full 17 games in a season. So I think we're trying to get him there, 16. And they've obviously failed miserably because he's on IR now, so he won't be playing this week. But maybe that's what we're trying to do. He would have played Akers, he would have beat me. So happy days he didn't. But then if I'd have played Guerrero over Stevenson, that would have helped me. And if I hadn't done the silly Kansas City Chiefs defence out and Colts defence in, it would have made a massive bigger difference as well. So, you know, you make these decisions and that's what you live and die by. And thankfully, the mistakes I made didn't hurt me as much as the mistakes Alan made hurt him.
Yeah. Like see, Alan doesn't follow it as much anymore. So that's probably why he probably wouldn't realize he was so injured.
No, that's it exactly. You know, so it's how it is. But yes, congratulations on getting to the final in your final season, Alan. And
is it going to be Taylor and A-Chain this year?
A-Chain's going to. Well, I mean, at the moment, you can move over from me. A-Chain, Thomas, and Taylor. That's all that matters. A-Chain, Thomas, and Taylor. That's the only 3 that are possible. Yeah. I mean, I guess Guerrero, in case McCaffrey's not coming back and he looks like the bona fide number 1, you better bring him over too. But other than that, nobody else.
Well, after what I did earlier on, I'm not going to bother, but I will keep a spreadsheet, and then when the draft board's are ready before it starts, I can add the player to the pick.
Now, I'm going to have to speak with Aaron, obviously, about this, but you pretty much Aaron will be keeping Lamar Jackson. And I will have a discussion with him on whether he wants to keep Trey McBride or not. But that's his only 2 options. I mean, JSN, I guess you've got to look into the loop, but no, I don't think so. So, move over Jackson, move over JSN, move over McBride.
Maybe even Sutton, because Sutton does well with Knicks.
Yeah, he's
has scored double-digit points most weeks. But
no way Sutton goes in the first 2 rounds of any draft next year. You can keep him where he is. Jackson, Smith and Jigba and McBride, that'll be about his only options.
Well, I'm going to keep them on a spreadsheet, and if anybody's not sure, because kind of they always forget by the time August time comes along.
Or you can just log into NFL.com and find out. You know, anyone can log into
Yeah, but
NFL.com and still see their team.
they never do
right
that. It's usually me, you, or Doug telling them who's available.
Well, you can log into NFL.com and look at your bloody team and look at mammies.
So the boys are back in town in the Tartan Bears. Who's the potential keepers here?
So boys are back in town. They're on the left, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, for boys are back in town, I can't imagine they're keeping anyone. I think this is just a rip it up and start again. I mean, who have you got there that's even an option? That's a rip it up and start again. Tartan Bears, I mean, Adams is no longer a keeper, but yeah, St. Brown, Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra's the keeper there, so I reckon Joe will keep Amon-Ra and move on. Maybe Montgomery, if he's back and fit again, it's an option, I guess, but...
Well, they picked him up from the draft last year because nobody kept him. Graham's going to have a hard task.
Graham's got options, massive options. I mean, he literally drafted Marv to keep him. And he's not had the season, but that doesn't mean he's not going to have it next year. And he has shown in stages this year how much of a superstar he is. So, I mean, for me, I think it's worth rolling the dice on Marv for next year for Graham, but it's certainly a big decision to make. And I think Kieran Williams is if he's coming in exactly the same spot that he was next year as he did this year, then Kieran Williams is an auto keep. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't think he'll keep much else there now. You know, it's kind of a lot of the guys.
Daniels can keep all that, but then there's a good chance that Daniels might regress a bit, but they should do. But.
I mean, I wouldn't be keeping Daniels. I don't see him getting drafted in the first couple of rounds. So I think if you can pick him up in the third round, then you don't keep him as much. You know, kind of. If you're sure he'll be there in the third round when you make your first pick, you don't keep him because you can still pick him up there if you don't fancy it. But it's worth a look to see who else is there. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Pearsall, you don't keep Pearsall after one big game, you know. So that's not a keeper for Mark. Bejan's Mark's keeper, and I don't see him keeping anybody else there.
Well, he does like his Jets, so he might have to keep Rodgers just for the Jets factor.
I was going to say he might want to keep Garrett Wilson. He might want to keep Garrett Wilson, depending on who the quarterback is. But certainly Bejan's a keeper, and I don't think he'll keep anyone else. I think he'll start again after Bejan.
I know it'd be quite funny if he did keep. So we'll go at that one. There we go. Varsity Blues. Who done all the trading?
I think Brody's got a couple of options as well, is he not?
Walker.
I mean, Walker's definitely an option. I can't imagine Dell is after the season he's had this year.
No.
And Addison's about the only other one I would look at there and say maybe, but I can't see that either. No, I think for me,
no, you'll get Addison third or fourth round. Like Addison will not go. It's good a season he's had. You know how much I like Addison. I don't think he would go before the fourth.
No, neither that because JJ's got to go first, you know. So I agree. I think Brody rips up and starts again.
Ray's going to go CMC and Pinakua.
I mean, if CMC's fit heading into the season, he has to keep him. He can't let him go. I mean, if he lets him go, I'll be all. If he's still there when I'm drafting, I'll pick him up straight away. But he wouldn't get to me because I'm keeping two anyway, you know. So I'm not going to be picking until the third round. So there's no way I get CMC. But I believe Ray's got to keep him. And to be honest, I think you've got to keep Puka as well. That's one of the other wide receivers that I would say you have to keep.
Oh, yeah, Nakua you have to keep because he's already proved he's the number one alpha in that offense.
So I do think Ray's got two bona fide keepers there. To start
for Allen against Le'Veon.
So again, I mean, does Allen keep Joe Burrow? Is that do you keep Joe Burrow? I'm not 100% sure either way, to be honest with you. He's got to keep Brees Hall, you would think, and I mean, you say that he was awful this year in the grander scheme of things. So maybe not.
I love Brees Hall, but he's been done my head in this year.
Yeah,
maybe he rips up and starts again.
The whole entire Jets are awful this year, so you have to take that into consideration when you're thinking about Brees Hall. And Brees Hall still is an absolute stud running back, you know. So I can see him still being a keeper next year, but it's one that Allen will need to keep an eye on. As for Michael, I mean, again,
Rodgers calls into a black pole, and then they get Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, well, you know, but for Michael, you know, you've got Mixon there. if Mixon's coming in as the number one again, he's an option, I guess. You've got Tyreek Hill there again. You've got to look at what's Tua doing and how fit is Tua and who's the backup for Tua next year, because you would think that they're going to put someone pretty decent in to cover. And obviously he's got Brock Bowers there. For me, Brock Bowers is an absolute auto keep. And he's got his option there as well on the bench of Kamara. If Kamara's going again next year, he's been great this year. So again, he's an option. So I mean, Michael's got his options there as well. I could see him only keeping Brock Bowers, and I could see him keeping Tua quite easily there as well. He's got decisions to make.
I know, poor boy. I think that's everybody, is it?
That's everybody.
Cool. Well, that's us for the year. Well done, chap.
That's us, Johnny. The ring is in hand.
Looking forward to seeing the trophy on the mantelpiece for the back saber next year.
The trophy will be on the mantelpiece.
The photograph of Doug presenting you the trophy will be on the mantelpiece. Yes, that'll be the backdrop next year, Doug. Sorry.
That will certainly be happening. But until such times, we will live on safe in the knowledge that I am the 2024 champ. And yes, it was last year, and yes, it is a thing of the past now. But I'm going to enjoy it for a little bit, and then come August, it's time to go again and get my back-to-back. Because you see, that's at the end of the day, I'm the current champ, so that's fine, and you've got the bragging rights because you're the current champ. But as soon as that's over, you've got 2. Sean's got 4, for goodness sake.
Yeah, so 2 of them against me.
That's next, Johnny. That's next. You're the next target. You're the only one with 2, aren't you?
Yes. I'm the one with 2. Doug.
So
everybody's I'm after Sean. You are all after me.
You're next.
And the ones that have the one are after you. Like Graham,
and then we'll take it from there.
Alan. But yeah, so well done to everybody that played this year. And I'm sorry to see Alan go. But we'll have the replacement of Aaron.
Welcome, Aaron. If you're watching, I doubt you are watching because you're in Vietnam at the moment and it's probably middle of the night. But yes, welcome to the league, Aaron. Good luck. You're coming in to try and take Daddy's crown, so bring it, bitch.
And you're in the division with the regular season champion normally, so that's gonna be a tough one for you. And
he will be.
Just to let the ones that have
back.
The league.
He will be back next year as well for the start of the season. He will be in country. He will be home in Edinburgh, we think, and staying in Edinburgh when they come home for a bit. So he should be home for the season as well. So that'll be good as well to have him home, and we'll do a lot of Red Zone together. So it should be quite tasty in this house next year, Johnny, when there's real bona fide going for. It should be tasty.
Especially with the trophy sitting there rubbing it in his face, and that's what you want to get.
Well, I'm not even being funny, Johnny, but he's frustratingly very good at this game for someone who doesn't really watch a whole lot of it, and he's not got, he's frustratingly very good at it. So we'll need to kind of sort that out, and he'll be watching a whole lot more next year, that's for sure, and we'll see how he gets on.
Definitely. And obviously for those, there's 10 of us already joined the new league, so if the other 6 could, that'd be great, then I can get things organised and then forget about it till August.
Yeah, that's it. Let's just get in, get loaded, and then park it for a bit. Just as an FYI, I am literally deleting the Sleeper app in a couple of weeks. I am deleting the Sleeper app for 2 months just because I am shutting down. It's been 2 solid years. With the dynasties, it's been 2 solid years of back to back to back to back of just like right through, no break, no stop, nothing. Just 24/7, 12 months of the year. So I am taking a little break, and at the end of January, I'm going to, once signed up and all the new leagues are signed up and all sorted out, I am literally deleting the app to stop myself from being tempted in, and I'm going to open it back up again.
I've already told Jack I'm not in any more with bloody dynasties or that.
There will be no more dynasties for me this year. I am on my max for dynasties, and then that gives me enough for the redrafts later on. And if I do a couple of best balls, it'll be towards the back of the end. I don't want to start my drafting. Do you know why it is, Joe? Do you know what the thing is, Johnny? And I think this has been kind of Graham suffered from this as well, I believe. And it's when we do all that drafting early, and we do draft early, and we draft the best ball teams early. I'm always very much looking, when we get to the real leagues, And I'm looking at when it's coming round to my turn, I'm thinking, oh, I've got him quite a few places, I've got him quite a few places, I've got him quite a few places. So you try and be that wee bit different, and you try and kind of get these different players in. And then I look at my team at the end and I think, Christ, what have I done there? I could have had him, I could have had him, I could have had him. Why have I not got them? Because I've got them in a couple of best balls. Come on. And I think that's where part of the problem's been, and it's why I'm not playing. It's why I've won one Super Bowl out of 20 blooming leagues this year, because I just think that when I'm drafting, I'm trying to stay away from players that I've already got earlier, and I need to stop doing that. I need to draft the players that I think are going to get me to the titles, and not just trying to be different.
I won Chris's one in NFL. I was about to draft Jack's league, and then Chris says, "I've got somebody drop out. Can you take it?" I was like, "Yeah, no bother." So I qualified as a 4th seed and beat the number 1 seed, and then beat the number 2 seed, number 3 seed.
Happy days.
Yeah, so to win it that's what having Terry McLaurin in my team.
Well,
it's nearly bloody cost me. But
very well done. But I mean, I literally got one Super Bowl out of my. I was only in 2 or something like that, So it's just not good enough. Something has to change. I study this game. No, it's not I study this game. I mean, there's a lot of luck involved in it, but there's a lot of skill involved in it as well. And it's knowing who to put in, when to put them in, who's doing what. Everyone's got their own places for their stats, and what ones are right and what ones are wrong. And for every single player, you can find a group of stats that make them look superstars, and you can find a group of stats that make them look stupid. And it's just what ones you want, what ones you kind of lean into more, This is what I need to work out over the summer for myself. I need to work out the best way to go about maximising my chances of multiple titles next year. That's the target.
Yeah, definitely. It's a hard one, especially with all the different leagues and that. But yeah, I will probably cut down a lot of the best balls as well. But
I do think a wee rest will help that, just to recharge your batteries a little bit. And make me excited about going back in again. Make me excited about going looking at those teams again, see what I've got, see where I'm at, see what's going to happen. So that's the idea. That's I think I'll gain my excitement back.
That's why I don't like Dynasty so much. Like I like obviously I'm talking about the Orkney Bowl all year round, but that's not picking teams or sorting teams and all that stuff. That's just up in the background. But like I've not got all year round. I can't follow everything to pick up these players that suddenly become available and do well at this and do well at that, and it's just
I do love the Dynasty format. I do, but it's probably my favourite way of playing the game. But at the same time, I love my redrafts, and I have to have my redrafts there. And the more dynasties you do, you know what I'm like. I will not pull out of one. There's no way I'll pull out of a dynasty because I just won't do it. So if I keep adding dynasties, it's just adding more and more dynasties. So then I'm not getting my redrafts, Then I'm maybe getting 2 or 3 redrafts, and that's not enough for me. I want my redrafts, but I want to be able to manage all my teams as we go through the season, And this season, I just felt like I wasn't given enough attention to some of the teams because I don't know whether I was overwhelmed with it or whatever. I don't know, but next year's going to be different, Johnny. I'm playing to win next year. I gave Show Me the Money everything this year to try and get that title. When I seen that I had a chance early doors, and I started off well, and I thought, you know what, let's try and get this title this year. I've got it. So next year, it's all about doing better everywhere.
Cool. Well, we've got a nice juicy Orkney Bowl division with me, you, Doug, and Fraser.
We do, which should be fun. That'll
be an interesting one. And I've like I have, me, I've done the fixtures already, and believe it or not, you're playing Doug in week 7 again.
So
completely fucking random, but yeah. I was hoping we were going to get each other, I think, one or 2 or 3, so we'd end up playing each other at the end, but unfortunately not. But I think he's got a phrase to play early on. But yeah, it's gutted.
I'm fine with that. I'm happy to beat you all in the playoffs.
I think we'll get each other in a row, so that'll be fun.
But it's good that we've had a lot of responses and that over there, and but that's the next one, isn't it? For this one, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure once more. The chat that goes on in the WhatsApp group, fantastic. Everyone's invested, everyone's involved. Love it. We'll be back next year, slightly different in the fact that we're on the Sleeper app, but no other different whatsoever. We're still going to be doing the podcast. We're still going to be doing the chats on WhatsApp. The rules stay the same. There's still no PPR. There's one lousy extra point for a 4th down stop, I think he said, which we'll discuss later. I'm only joking. That's fine. And but
it's no different to your keeper. So.
Other than that, it's year 12. Show me the money. Looking forward to welcoming you all back, and have a great summer.
Yeah.
That's what you're coming for.
So long, folks. We'll see you in August.